Okay, LionBlaze, Daniel. Game number 1. We're just going to get into it right away. Don't want to keep these guys waiting. They've been waiting for the other semi to finish for quite some time already, since of course it did go to game 7. Unsurprisingly, we've got Daniel in the Fennec again. He was playing the Fennec earlier on, and it worked out wonderfully for him. He completely dominated Chronic. And that was a Chronic who's been on form this tournament. Look at this already. I mean, the flicks are looking absolutely wicked for Daniel. This is a new Daniel. If you didn't see him earlier on, it is prepare yourself for a Daniel the likes of which you've never seen before. If he can replicate what he did earlier on today, then you're gonna absolutely love what you're seeing here, because it's just such an interesting style, something we're not really used to seeing from him. Very controlled style, a very safe style. He's just going for the no-risk strats. And when you've got mechanics as good as Daniel, playing with no risk really just leaves very few opportunities for your opponent to do, well, pretty much anything. So he might be onto something here. Already 2-0. Now, LionBlaze went through to the semi-finals without dropping a series. He did drop one game. Evo was able to take him out in one of the games that they played. Before that, he swept Zapatos. In fact, I think both of these players swept Zapatos. Oh no. Is that correct? Yeah, both these players swept Zapatos, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got that in common, but in the upper bracket, day 1, just yesterday, LionBlaze definitely had the better showing when compared to Daniel. So he's definitely in form this week. He looked very, very scary yesterday, especially with his own ground game. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to match up against Daniel, because if both these guys are focusing on the ground game as I expect them to, then will that actually favor LionBlaze like it usually does? I mean, historically, that's been his strong point. Ground game, defense, goalkeeping. That's what he does. It's what he's made a name for himself doing for the longest time. One of the best flicks in the world, some of the best pre-jumps in the world, some of the best boost management in the world. Daniel's going to try and one-up him here with grounded play potentially. I think they've only ever played one time. I checked. I think they played one time on Fear's channel. I don't think I've ever seen Daniel and LionBlaze play on my channel. Yeah, based on what I've seen so far today, I would lean towards Daniel winning this. But it's hard to say, because LionBlaze, of course, is a new challenge, something that I think is going to play a lot differently to a Chronic, similar to what Daniel, played earlier on. Thank you, by the way, to ZJ120 for gifting us up to 0 Mutant. And also Pastor Bro for the 3-month Prime. Also T Dales with the brand new Prime. Welcome to the channel, all of you. Yeah, welcome to everybody else who's tuning in tonight for the, well, for me, the late night tournament. I know for some of you guys in other parts of the world it's not that late yet, but yeah, certainly very late for me, coming on 3 in the morning. I've had a couple of people asking, Johnny, why do you sound quiet today? That is the reason. It's coming on 3 a.m. So I'm trying to, do my best to hype up these games for you guys without getting too ridiculous with my volume. Okay, we've seen 2 kickoff goals for LionBlaze so far, and they're both off the back of just standard push kickoffs for Daniel, so no surprise to see him switching up the strat to the wave dash on that one. And yeah, no surprise to see him first try execution on the aerial play. Just making it look so simple. I mean, it's like I said earlier, this is the first time I've ever watched Daniel play and thought to myself, this doesn't look out of the realms of possibility for, an actual bot like myself to pull off. Like, these are obviously very, very precise goals, but look at how simple the setup is. He's just gone through LionBlaze like he's not even there, and he's not doing anything too crazy to do it. I mean, it's for Daniel, I mean, not too crazy. Let's make sure that you guys don't get what I'm saying twisted here. He's obviously making exceptionally high level plays, but for Daniel, these are just simple plays. He's just going for single reset, flip, single reset, mind game. Like, that's nothing crazy for Daniel, and he's making it look easy, even against a player who's as defensively legendary like LionBlaze is. It's like the first time I hosted Daniel versus Evo. When would that have been? That would have been a while back now. I've seen Daniel Evo quite a few times. Unless, of course, you're referring to this tournament, in which case I'd say no. Well, Daniel nearly scored the bottest Fennec goal of all time. That was unbelievable. He just drove into the ball and the ball glued to him. It's crazy. This car simply is built different. We need to spread the word. The bot Fennec meta is here. No air roll necessary. Just single jump into the ball and see what happens. I mean, it really is just the meta that Daniel's thriving in. Was that not the bottiest, Fenneciest goal of all time if it had worked? He's just, the ball's bouncing between him and the post. I don't know if you'd call it like a quadruple tap from that range, that low to the ground, but I suppose it's technically what it was going to be. Yeah, Daniel just looks unplayable right now. I'm being completely honest with you guys. He doesn't look playable at all. I mean, what do you do when you're up against a player as talented as him and he's taking no risks? LionBlaze has one-upped him on a couple of kickoffs. He's snuck 2 more goals in. Apart from that, it has just been brick wall defense, very nice midfield control, and another no air roll air dribble from Daniel. This is just spectacular. No unnecessary movements. Why air roll if you don't have to? This is just crazy. Who is this guy and what's he done with Daniel? I mean, the fact that it's working means it probably is Daniel, because, I mean, not many players can just come in and 7-4 LionBlaze without air rolling, but this doesn't make any sense. Who is this guy and what has he done with Daniel? Are SSG in trouble here? Is Daniel going to rock up to the major with no air roll and just win anyway? Maybe they're not in trouble at all. Maybe they're about to thrive. Is this the new meta, the new Rocket League overlords? LionBlaze doesn't know what to do against this. I think he's probably just so confused. Everybody who plays against Daniel playing like this has got to be so confused. They've got to be, because they've played against him a lot. Daniel's a ones grinder from way back. He's put in a ton of ranked ones in the past, and so is LionBlaze. So even though they've only, I think, played against each other in 1 or 2 tournaments a while back, LionBlaze will be familiar with what Daniel's about. He'll be familiar with what Daniel does in ones, and this is not what Daniel usually does in ones. But I'm here for it. This is phenomenal. He's just simply outplaying LionBlaze. He's just driving around, and what is going on? He just drove up to him like, yeah, I'm just gonna bump you away actually, and then take the ball and then put it in your net. Oh my days. The bot Fennec is taking over, ladies and gentlemen. Get your Fennecs. I don't even know if they're in the store right now, but if you don't have one, you better get one soon, because if not, the bot Fennec meta is going to leave you in the dust. If you're not practicing this right now, then you're going to be a whole day behind everybody who is. Unreal. 10-5. Who beats LionBlaze 10-5 playing like this? I mean, if I'd hidden the nameplates, who would you guys say this is? I think you'd all say it's apparently Jack, right? Like, the playstyle does look like apparently Jack the most. In terms of 1v1. Just because there's very few players who can 10-5 LionBlaze in any game of Rocket League. So 10-5 already puts you on about 10 different players worldwide max. Khaled, possibly. Maybe TRK, maybe Jack. But there's very few players who you guys would guess that this is winning 10-5 against Daniel with this efficient style. And Daniel would not be a player many people would guess. I can guarantee you that. Khaled and Jack, no one else. I could see Khaled, Jack, or TRK. Occasionally TRK does this where he just beats people without doing anything fancy. He's just like, yeah, I'm just better than you. I don't even need to use air roll to beat you. But I've never seen anyone in NA do this. Oh, that's a great save. LionBlaze up quickly for that one. Daniel rocketed another flick into the top shelf there. Yeah, who in NA has ever played like this? Has anyone? Look at him, he's just driving behind the ball. He's just driving into it. What do you do against a Fennec that's just driving into the ball? Maybe... No, yeah, iRicky is a Fennec player from NA back in the day. Like, maybe not even back in the day, but yeah, more... Probably the NA player who was most well known for his Fennec ground game was iRicky, but he didn't play anything like this. Nah, not like this. This is very different. I mean, nobody when iRicky was peaking in NA ones, no one played like this. Not even Khaled or Jack in the Fennec back then were playing like this. This is just full bot mode. Like, look at Daniel's got 3 boosts. And he's like, I don't care. I'm just gonna drive into the ball anyway. Flakes. Maybe it is just the Flakes playstyle. Was Flakes right all along? Now, there's far too many actual challenges for this to be Flakes playstyle. See, Flakes fakes everything. Or Flakes playstyle was to never commit. Now, Daniel's, he's never landing out of position, but he is challenging. He is pressuring. Which even Flakes, in his heyday, would concede you have to do every now and then. Otherwise, your opponent's going to know what you're up to on every single play. Okay, LionBlaze in the lead in game 2. Optimized Flakes, I love that. That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, LionBlaze has defended really well in this game as well, though. I mean, you expect to see that from him. A couple of his saves have been phenomenal, and I think now he knows what he's up against, so he's probably going to have a better counter strategy for it. Oh dear, he's completely missed that one, though. That was way, way off and way too hard of a shot for him to have any chance of catching up. Daniel just launches another half flip shot towards him. He's pressuring the ball well there, but LionBlaze a bit more aware of that in this game. Tries for the demo. Oh, look at this. He almost pulls it off, but he's not able to get the shots into the net quickly enough. Saw Evo do this a couple of times yesterday, where he just chases his opponent out of the net and then stops as the ball catches up to him to pop it into the goal, which is then open. But LionBlaze accidentally hit that one too high, too slowly, and Daniel's able to get the save on it. Still half the game gone, and we haven't seen any bot Daniel goals yet. That was a great attempt, just simply driving into the ball there. No flip needed. Forget about no air roll. No flipping at all, and I don't mean no flip shots, I just mean actually not flipping, as Daniel now ties from distance. LionBlaze a little bit out of position on that one. Tried to take the ball with them, and unfortunately failed to make contact. Yeah, LionBlaze doesn't look fully comfortable yet. I mean, it's got to take more than a game to adjust to what Daniel's doing right here. Because like I said, not really anyone in North America plays ones like this. I think Jack being in NA is probably the closest thing you're going to get to NA, or to a ones player like this. You've got a few, I think, like, you know, the Middle East players, a few of them, like you guys identified, do play a bit like this. So if you're playing EU ladder 1v1, you're probably going to run into this a fair bit. But NA, this is kind of new. In my opinion. Yeah, he's just botting the ball into the net. I don't believe this. Daniel, you cannot be doing this. This is completely illegal. You cannot continue to get away with this, young man. He is just doing absolutely nothing, and it's working. It's almost annoying at this point. I do not believe this. Somebody report him. Can I report people? I can. Okay, noted, I can. If he takes this too far, I might need to take that into consideration. It's quite funny they can't. Can they report me even though I'm spectating? I wonder if that's possible. Can you report somebody who's spectating a private lobby? Been doing this for 6 years and I don't know if you can. Alright, LionBlaze does slot this open net. You missed one earlier on, but no doubt on the second try. So, what do you do against a bot Fennec? You're probably wondering at this point, like, okay, what do you do if your opponent is just simply driving behind the ball, flying behind the ball, not doing a whole lot of anything? Oh, LionBlaze missed this one as well. That's 2 open net misses in one game. Well, yeah, you can't be a bot Fennec if you're missing 2 open net misses in one game. All that often. But what you have to make sure to do, if somebody is just doing this to you, if they're just driving into the ball, is make sure not to go for overly aggressive dunks, because if you try and go over the top of them, yeah, just another no air roll shot from Daniel. Beautiful. Just no dodge. Just a nice little jump, and it's it. Yep. Perfect recovery, though, I've got to say. That was really clean from Daniel. Yeah, the biggest mistake you can make against somebody who's playing like this is to anticipate flicks, is to anticipate high shots. They want you to jump too high into the ball. Because then they can just 50-50 it under you. Like, the low 50 is a big part of this gameplay Daniel is playing today. or at least threatening the low 50 is a big part of it. So make sure not to just flip too high into your challenges, otherwise you'll be susceptible to low 50s. But of course the other thing is, you actually do have to jump as well. If they're just jumping behind the ball, you're gonna need to jump, because if you don't jump, if you just drive into the ball and the other guy jumps into the ball, they're gonna dunk on you as if you've just been challenged by somebody who's flying in high for you. So you do have to jump as well. Just try not to commit too much in the challenge while getting a piece of it. That's going to be 2-0. Daniel is just a different breed today. We've never seen any Daniel like this before. And LionBlaze does not know what to do about it. We're going to get a new server here for LionBlaze. He's getting a little bit of lag in this one. Hopefully we can find him a good one. I'll suggest a ping test really quickly, because that is something that we should be doing for players who are having lag issues. I'll just say ping test, because yeah, you can't tell just based on the ping sometimes how good a server is. You need to actually get a play going before you can see. No problem, says Daniel. They kind of look like they're playing a real game here. I did say ping test. Now I feel almost bad for like putting it back. LionBlaze isn't saying anything. Hello, LionBlaze. How's it going? Alright, I think they're going to play on. That looked like a pretty legitimate kickoff from both players. I think probably what happened there... oh, sorry, I've just accidentally tabbed out the game at the wrong time. Wait. Okay, nah, they're not playing a legit game. I wasn't sure. Yeah, Thingamy's just own gold. But, yeah, the thing about party chat or in-game chat in Rocket League at the moment is I'm pretty sure that when you join a team, the party chat disappears. So I thought for a second there that they might have just not seen me type ping test, but yeah, they did. They saw me type ping test. Because yeah, if you type ping test, it means that the game isn't actually a game, they're just testing the connection. But I thought maybe neither of them saw it, because if you click join team, I think the party chat disappears, so sometimes the timing of that doesn't line up. But yeah, they weren't in fact playing legitimately. The reason that they go for an actual kickoff though in 1v1 is because one of the main things you want to test in a 1v1 server is, does the kickoff look normal? There's no way, how does this work for Daniel? He's completely misread what LionBlaze is doing, but then he just bonks his nose on the ground in the landing and it works. Of course he's scoring. Like, this is actually just not allowed. It's not allowed what Daniel is doing right here. Like, it looks like he's got less mechanical ability than he's ever had before, but everything works. It really just goes to show like how unnecessary a lot of air rolling is at the top level. Some of it is really useful to deceive your opponent and to make them think that you're doing something you're not, by air rolling in the approach or air rolling in an aerial to get the fastest possible direction to the ball. But if you could just put your car behind the ball in the best place possible and simply fly into it, then really what is your opponent supposed to do? Like, if you're leaning your full, like the big side of your car's hitbox into the ball, like that's pretty tough to stop. So really well played by Daniel there. Yeah, LionBlaze is showing pretty tilted car movement here again. Like, just after the goal goes in, there's not a lot of movement. Usually you can tell if somebody's having a hard time mentally because their car just comes to a complete standstill when a goal gets scored. We saw that from LionBlaze right there. It's oh, Daniel air rolled there before remembering he shouldn't be doing that. Did you guys see that? His old instincts kicked in. He air rolled and he's like, wait, what am I doing? That is just simply inefficient gameplay, and then he stopped. He just stopped air rolling on the spot. It just, yeah, continues to fly sideways. I mean, if he ended up sideways when he remembered that he shouldn't be air rolling, his car happened to be sideways, so he just left it that way. He's like, well, I'm sideways now, it's fine. just gonna go with this. Look at this from Daniel. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Actually, who needs air roll? Air roll is underrated. I mean, overrated, sorry. Overrated, definitely overrated. Just a little lean back. It's kind of the opposite of an inverted lean back reset. Reverse takeoff lean back reset, not the conventional bot Fennec reset there, where you just pop the ball up in front of you and literally lean back to get a reset on it. No, he popped it backwards and then leaned back all the way right to get a reset on it. He's actually just unbound air roll. This is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to witness. No, he's not really unbound it for anybody wondering, but he is not air rolling. He is just driving into the ball and flying without air rolling. And usually when you see a player doing this, you think that they're trolling or you think that they're just not mechanical, but I mean, Daniel's just showing that you don't need it. Oh, that's an air roll. Hold on a second. I think he actually needed this one, so I'm going to explain to you one of the reasons why air rolling while you're in the air is useful. So there, Daniel was able to get a favorable touch to the backboard by air rolling into the ball, limiting the amount of recoil his car is going to feel, and also enabling him to quickly fly to the left side of the goal so he can rebound it in to the top corner. So, I mean, that's the absolute gold standard air roll that you're going to need to learn if you want to be the opposite of a bot Fennec. Useful to be able to do it both ways. It's the quickest way, once you've flown off in a straight line, to then turn your car mid-air to the left or right. Just like leaning back and also air rolling to the side that you want to fly towards. Simultaneously, of course. Oh, it's a monster of a flick from LionBlaze. He's finally on the board in game 3. In style as well. Look at this. Halfway line. Somewhere between the halfway line and the edge of the box, I should say. Ripped it in off the bar. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. Elite Pro Ham. He says he misses Octane Daniel. I honestly don't. I'm loving this. This is fantastic. You know, a lot of people would say that this as again, he just waits for the ball to come to him. No panic. LionBlaze is trying to bump him. Daniel's just waiting. Okay. Oh, that's huge. Well, LionBlaze just actually out 50'd bot Fennec Daniel, which is very impressive. Like, usually in these positions, the bot Fennec player just destroys the Octane in the 50 and the ball flies to the other side of the pitch, but LionBlaze managed to come out victorious there. Sammy Green, thanks for the 3-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Also, Rob Flobdob, thanks for the brand new prime. That's a great name. Alright, I looked away at my alerts here. What happened on this kickoff? It's just a bit low of a contact there from LionBlaze. He also did not expect Daniel to be covering that side as much as he was. But yeah, if Daniel just wins this tournament, look at him. What a menacing sight. You're just thinking about what to do with your next attack, and you look up and you just see Daniel has jumped, leaned back, and he hasn't air rolled. I mean, that's intimidating. Yeah, what if Daniel wins this without air roll, then we are going to see a complete shift in the meta. Like, there will be a complete change up in the Rocket League esports world going into the first international major of this season. I mean, look at him. He's unstoppable. Every single interaction goes his way. Actually does. Look, I'm so like Khaled, who does this when he's aerial. Like, Khaled does this in a lot of his aerials, where he just does. He knows he doesn't need to air roll, so he just doesn't. And then people are like, "Oh yeah, Khaled's bad in the air." But I mean, if you don't have to air roll, you don't have to air roll. Like, sometimes you're just getting to the ball anyway. I mean, what's the this is like the opposite that we went through. I can't believe that we're seeing the next evolution of the ones meta right before our eyes. We went through the freestyle meta, you know. We've been there, done that, you know. We've seen Dark popping off with all kinds of pogos. Even when Daniel is air rolling, it doesn't look like Daniel, the old Daniel. Yeah, LionBlaze boost star, nothing he can do. He's completely lost for what to do in this matchup. But yeah, we went through freestyle meta, you know, for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years. More and more freestyle mechanics are becoming viable in 1v1, and now it's just all about the bot Fennec gameplay. I mean, look at this. The bot Fennec really can do it all. He air rolls upside down there because, I mean, you kind of have to if you're going to flick that, but after that, just a little bit of a lean back into the rebound. No need to spin. 9-2. LionBlaze just going to flip away from the kickoff here. And Daniel mercilessly puts in a 10th goal. Yeah, it's crazy to see. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why 1v1 to me at least is so interesting, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree that there are just simply way more playstyles in 1v1 than any other game mode in Rocket League, where, you know, the game just kind of lends itself to being played a certain way in 3v3. And if you're not playing that way, then you're just not playing optimally. But in ones, playstyles are more like rock, paper, scissors. You know, you got certain styles are good against others, but weaker against different ones. So this works. You know, this really does work, and you can replicate this yourself. Obviously not to the same level of Daniel for most of us, but just really focusing on making every impact point on the ball as solid as you can. I mean, that to me is how I'd summarize what Daniel's done today. Is he's just making sure that every time that he hits the ball and his opponent's nearby, he's going to hit the middle of it. And yeah, just flying into the ball to do that. 3v3 has too much happening to notice these things. Well, I kind of disagree. I think like there's more happening in 1v1, to be honest. Like, there are far more decisions happening in 1v1, and I don't mean that there's less. Obviously there are more players in the field than threes, but a lot of the time they're kind of just like doing what they have to do, not making a decision. Like, 3v3 plays itself more than 1v1 does, and you'll know this if you have ever played 1v1 ranked and 3v3 ranked in the same session. Go and play ranked 3s and then play ranked 1s right after, or vice versa. Tell me which game you have to actually think about more while you're... Tell me which game mode you had to make more decisions while you're playing. Like, you can actually play 3v3 and not even pay attention, and you're probably still playing quite well a lot of the time. You could just blend in, and the game kind of plays itself. So when I say that there's less things happening, that's what I mean. I don't mean that there's less players. Obviously, there are more players, but there are just less decisions. I mean, in threes, sometimes you just have to do the best play in the position because it's just the best play by miles. Whereas in ones, you've got more options. You've got, like, you know, you could do Daniel right here. He could have floor pinched that. He could have, you know, pogoed it. He could have popped it up and then gone for a reset. He could have just, you know, ground shot it. But why would you do any of that when you could just fly into the ball, not air roll, and dunk on your opponent who's overestimating you and thinking about all the other things you might be doing? I mean, there's just a whole host of things you could do there in ones, whereas in threes, you don't have time to do any of that. You just have to do something faster. The speed of the game in threes eliminates a ton of options that, you know, it doesn't happen in ones. So yeah, I don't know if that's a hot take for me. I don't know if that's an elaborate hot take, but I think 1v1 has way more, you know, decision making, way more play styles, and way more actual real analysis than threes. But don't get me wrong, I love threes. I think Rocket League threes is the best esport because it's just the easiest esport to get for casual fans. You can show it to anyone who knows what football is, and anyone who knows what football is and what a car is, they're going to understand Rocket League, which is why Rocket League is such a great esport to watch. And I think 1v1 and 3s can coexist and thrive together. Oh, look at this. Daniel is actually going to save that. That is a majestic save on the attempted air dribble bump. A double save almost. I mean, it was one save altogether, but had to have two parts. I mean, everything Daniel's done today is just completely got LionBlaze second guessing himself on every play that he makes. Every time he does something, he's thinking to himself, am I just about to get dunked on by Daniel driving into the ball? By Daniel jumping into the ball? By Daniel flying into the ball? Straight line? Like, LionBlaze probably can't believe what's happening here. He probably can't believe this is really Daniel that he's playing. Not only football, but any ball game. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of other similar games as well. Yeah, it's just a super easy esport to grasp, which is what I think makes it so cool. But the other thing that goes hand in hand with that is that despite the fact that Rocket League is such a simple concept and such an easy esport to understand for new viewers, Daniel just continues to frustrate LionBlaze here. unbelievable defense. But yeah, the other thing that makes Rocket League so good is, of course, the fact that the skill ceiling will never be reached. I mean, there will never be an instance of a Rocket League player or a Rocket League team losing a game and then saying, oh yeah, we didn't actually deserve to lose that, the other team got lucky. Like, if they're saying that, then they're obviously exaggerating, because there's no luck in the game. It's just, it is entirely physics based. So if you've lost, you've messed up, and there are always massive improvements to be made, such as not air rolling. I mean, we all could learn a lot from this. Do I think Daniel plays like this in the finals? I absolutely think Daniel will play like this in the finals, and I'm already talking about Daniel playing like this in the finals because I'm that confident that he is going to win this. I mean, I've seen nothing from LionBlaze this series to suggest that he has a counter to what Daniel is doing here. Daniel has caught him off guard with his playstyle. It's something that I don't think LionBlaze or anyone in this tournament, other than apparently Jack, will be used to. Not sure if KV1 will be used to. I'm not sure. I can't think off the top of my head if anyone in South America plays like this, but I don't think anyone except Jack will have seen this style before, and AJ's in the final. If it was Jack versus Daniel, I could see Jack having a good idea of what to do against this, because Jack's played hundreds, if not thousands, of games against Khaled. So I think this will play quite similarly. Now, I think Daniel obviously has differences. This isn't like Daniel emulating Khaled at all. He's just being himself, but a much more solid, a much more simple style. But yeah, I think Jack will be the only one who knows what it's like to play against someone who's playing similarly to this. And yeah, I think AJ's going to really struggle. It's a fantastic redirect there from Daniel. Perfect timing. He just looks like he's in the flow state right now. He looks like he's got full control of what he wants to do, and he's got full control of the outcome of every game. Destructive. Absolutely destructive. Daniel's one-upped Jack's 6-0 game run yesterday, if he can win this one here. He's only got to hold on for another 29 seconds with a 3-goal difference. LionBlaze trying to make something happen. I've got to give him credit for that, because he's not playing standard kickoff there. He's really delayed it to try and mess with Daniel's timing. And Daniel not having any off it. He knows that LionBlaze would rather Daniel back off there, give him a free dribble. LionBlaze often goes back to his flick game for the final moments, for the final chances of the game. It is the one thing that's given him goals whenever he needs them in the past, but he's not going to get enough here. Daniel has swept LionBlaze. What on earth did we just witness? That was an amazing series. I think just historically for this one will go down in history. Today will go down in history as a big day for 1v1 Rocket League worldwide. A player like Daniel adopting this style is just something I never thought we'd ever see. Certainly not this soon in his career. If it had happened, like, 5 years from now, when he's washed and has no mechanics, then sure. But yeah, he's doing this at this time of his career when he's kind of at the peak, where he's never been better when it comes to threes, when it comes to Rocket League in general. So effortlessly as well. That's really quite scary to witness.